You're welcome to this Financial Intelligence Masterclass on understanding money. Statistics show that less than 10% of adults are financially free, while over 55% are in financial crisis. That is because they don't understand the language of money, and that's the reason for this broadcast. So it's extremely important you stay till the end of this broadcast. The host of this episode is Dr. Alumi Ade Emanuel. The topic is money. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what money is and how it works. If you stay till the end of this broadcast, I have special bonuses for you. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. And if you want to learn more on how to make, manage, and multiply your money, kindly visit www.theschoolofmoney.com.ng.
I'm going to start a series today on money, what it is and where it hides. Money, what it is and where it hides. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, what is money? You know, a lot of people think that money is the paper they have in their hands. So many times when you talk to your friend, you say, please, can I have some money? And then they open their purse or they open their wallet and they bring out what you call money. But I want you to know that this is not money. And that's the first thing you need to understand, because if you don't really understand what money is, there's no way you can be able to really create wealth. Because I've discovered that the missing link is really this issue of what money is. There are a lot of people that have money, but they don't even know that they have money because they are looking for paper. They are looking for this paper and currency that they call money. Now, listen and listen well. I've been privileged to travel to a few countries all over the world. And from what I know, money is universal, but currency is national and regional. Money is universal. Currency is national and regional. So that simply means if you think that this paper is money, you will be busy pursuing the paper instead of pursuing what real money is. For instance, look at what I have in my hand right now. I have different currencies of different countries. Now here I have, this is Kenyan shillings. And is 200 Kenyan shilling. Now, if you live in Kenya, this is what you call money in Kenya. But by the time you step out of Kenya, you can't call this money anymore except you exchange it for the currency of that particular country or region where you are in. So if you think this is money, then that means you don't have a full understanding of what money really is. Now, let's move on. Let's study some of these currencies so that, now this is the South African rand. And now, for those that live in South Africa, this is what they call money. And then, when you move on, this is the American dollars. So, people in America, this is what they call money. So, when you talk of money in America, this is what they do. I remember I was in the States some time ago, and I was trying to change British pounds in an hotel in New York. And the lady was looking at the British pounds as, okay, so what is this? I said, this is a British pound. It's okay, British pound. I said, yeah, the money they spend in London, you can exchange it. I want dollars. And she had to go and ask her manager because she has never seen British pounds before. So even though British pounds had more value than the American dollars, I was in an hotel in America, in New York, but the lady has never seen pounds before. So as far as she was concerned, this one is not money because it's not dollars. Now, when you move to, which one is this? Yeah, this is Dubai. Now, this is dirham, 5 dirham. This is Dubai money. So people in Dubai, that's what they spend. Now, when you come to, you live in Nigeria, this is the Nigerian naira. That's what they call money in Nigeria. Now, when you move to Botswana, this is the pula. This is what they call money in Botswana. Now, by the time you move to Gambia, this is Gambia money, dollars, $5. By the time you go, so all over the world, as I travel, I've seen this. That's why I said, let me bring it so that you will see it. This is also dirhams, this is Dubai. And then this is, let's see. Now, this is ringgit. When I went to Malaysia, this is ringgit from Malaysia. And then here we have, let's see, $100. That's also from Gambia. Now, by the time you go to Ghana, this is Ghana cedi. It used to be cedi, but now it's Ghana cedis. And then all over Europe, the European Union, this is what they spend in the entire region. It's called the euro. And then this is the British pounds, 10 pounds. Now, question. If you think this is money, that's the reason why a lot of people are so corrupt. Because they get a lot of this, they load it, and they think, oh, I have money. But let me ask you a question. If this is money, if the government of your country comes up tomorrow and decides that this is no more accepted, that they want to change the currency, do you know that the very minute they make that decision, this that you call money suddenly ceases to be money, it becomes ordinary paper? Why? Because it was never money in the first place. Are you getting that now? Why? Because if your country comes up today and say, you know what, we're changing the color of the currency, we want to change the design and put a new name on it, the very minute they do that, even if you have $1 billion worth of this in your house, it becomes useless except you go and change it to the new one. Now, let's move from this paper level and go to this next level, which is the card level. Now, a lot of people now think this is money. Why? Because when they were born and they were growing up, this is what they were exposed to. And this is what their parents and their grandparents made them to believe that money is. Now we have come into the 21st century, the world of e-commerce. And now everybody is moving to this level. Now, question, if you think this is money, which it isn't, because I'm going to expose that to you today, then what is this one? So if this is money, so now that we're going to e-commerce, does it now mean that this plastic is money? It is not money. Why? Because you can have this plastic. Now, this is a Bank of America, American Visa card. This is Barclays, British Visa card. This is First Bank in Nigeria. This is Nigerian card. Now, all these cards are being used all over the world. So you have Mastercard, Visa card, you have Switch, you have Solo, you have all this stuff. But guess what? If you don't have any money in your accounts, even if you have this, it can either be a debit or a credit card. If you have money in your account, then you can use it as a debit card. If you don't have money, use it as a credit card. So that means every money you are spending is actually a debt. So at the end of the day, this is not money. The paper is not money. It's just a currency. The card is not money. It's just a means of transaction. Many, many years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, humanity had no money. As a matter of fact, the first set of people in the new civilization were called cavemen. They were gatherers. And now these guys were not wearing clothes. They were just living in wildernesses, living in forests. Now, question. If these guys living in wilderness and living in the forest, if they had $1 million, the question you need to ask yourself is, what would they have done with $1 million in the wilderness? No shopping malls, no cars to buy, no ticket to buy, nothing. So these guys, in this season of their life, did not need what you call money today. Why? Because there was nothing they would do with it. So at that point in time, in the first civilization, what they had was what? Was their skill to hunt and the strength to hunt. So in their own time, your strength to hunt and your skill to hunt was the currency, because that is what you needed to survive. So if you don't know how to hunt, and you don't have the energy to go and hunt, you will be hungry. Even if you have $1 billion, it will have been useless in that particular season. And when you look at that, you discover that, wow, these guys had lots of things around them, but they did not need what you call money today because it was not really money. The first set of people in civilization were gatherers. They were hunters. And now they did not need what you call money today. So their energy and skill to hunt was their own money. Why? Because that's what they needed to survive. But guess what? They were walking on the ground. And all they were doing was looking for the animals on the ground to hunt for food. But as they began to evolve, they began to realize that, excuse me, this ground, every time we go through it, there are some things growing out of the ground. And now they suddenly began to realize that it seems as if there is more to this ground upon which we work than we have realized. And by doing that, they moved to the next level of evolution. And then we went into the Agrarian Age. Now, during the Agrarian Age, what happened was people that were in the hunter-gatherer age suddenly realized that the land upon which they were moving had more potential than they have realized before then. So what happened at that point is the fact that they moved from hunters to agricultural people to agrarians. Now, when they became agrarians, the land that was useless to them before, because it was only what was on the ground, the animals that were useful to them, the land now became useful because they now realized that if you can plant on that ground, it can bring forth more than what you plant into it. Now, when we moved into the Agrarian Age, what happened was land now became valuable. And then people began to take ownership of lands so that they can have plantations, because the bigger your plantation, the bigger your riches. And now when they move to that next level of evolution, money evolved again from just your skill, your knowledge, or your energy to trade by barter. Yes, I know you remember that one. Trade by barter. Now, trade by barter is the earliest recognition of money that most people can relate to, because while you were going through school, they must have taught you about trade by barter along the line. But why is it that even though you have the knowledge of trade by barter, you have suddenly come to a level where you have forgotten what trade by barter is all about, and now you are thinking that this currency is money or the plastic is money? Now, during the Agrarian Age, people became agricultural farmers. They began to plant, they began to harvest, they began to sell. At that point in time, they now realized, in order for us to continue to transact, we have to be able to take what we have and take it into the marketplace and look for people in the marketplace to exchange what they have for what we have. And that's how trade by barter became a means of transaction. So you have to come into the marketplace. But guess what? You don't come empty. You must have something to offer in the marketplace for you to be able to have something to get in the marketplace. And that's how trade by barter came into existence. Now, trade by barter means they have to come into the marketplace for there to be an exchange. So if you bring nothing to the marketplace, you are taking nothing out of the marketplace. Emotion and sentiment does not play any role or way in the marketplace. There's nothing like emotion and sentiment. It's all about principles, it's all about laws, it's all about strategies. So when they began to do what? They began to have trade by barter. Money began to come into another level in humanity. And from trade by barter, they suddenly began to realize this became a reality, because during the Agrarian Age, you need more people to be able to help you on your plantation. So the bigger your plantation, the bigger your riches. That's where slave trade came from. That's why they have to start buying people to help them on their farm. That's where polygamy became expanded, because people were thinking, instead of going to buy slaves, why not create slaves? So people now marry many wives and have countless children so that they can help them on the farm. But amazingly, even in the 21st century, there are people operating agrarian mentality, having multiple wives and trying to give birth to children that they cannot take care of. So listen, while they were going through this agricultural stage, they suddenly realized that, we are having oranges, we are having apples, but there's no way we can store oranges, there's no way we can store these apples. And now we need to look for something else to do with this product. And out of apple comes apple juice. Out of orange comes orange juice. Out of tomato comes tomato paste, tomato puree. So we have another level of evolution coming out of that. And that's how they move from the Agrarian Age to the Industrial Age. Now, in the Agrarian Age, it was trade by barter. So you bring what you have, I bring what I have, we exchange it. But there were problems. Number one, mobility problem. How do I transport what I have to where you are? Number two, equality problem. I come to the marketplace with banana and I tell you my banana is worth this value to me, but to you, you don't think it's worth that value. So people are having value problem. Number three, storage problem. Agricultural items are perishable. And they were thinking, what can we do? And number four, you suddenly realize that if you have something and you need something from someone to exchange, the person that has what you need may not need what you have. And now that became another problem. So they needed to move again to another level of evolution. And when they got into the Industrial Age, they realized that trade by barter can no more work. That is when they started talking about coins. You remember? Cowrie, gold coins, copper coins, and all those stuff. Now, don't forget, it started as skill and energy. It moved to trade by barter. Now it is moving to coins and cowries. And then, before you know it, they began to go into the level of gold bars. Now, when gold bars were now being used, you will bring your gold. And then, before you know it, I will bring what I have. And all of a sudden, an exchange begins to take place behind the scene. Now listen, that was how they evolved until they got to the level of paper currency. That is when the banking systems were set up. And now banking systems were set up so that the way it started was everybody brought their gold. Because gold was so heavy to sell it, people were saying, okay, bring all your gold. The bank now became the center of transaction. That's how banking system started. So you now have the clearing houses, you now have the central bank, where is the central vault. So they keep it, and then you will transact business among yourself and give yourself what is called a promissory note. That's where this paper came from. Oh. It's a promissory note. Now, the money that if you have a British pound, get a British pounds, and when you look at any British pound, you will see it there. I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of, I promise to pay. So this is, you think this is not 10 pounds. This is a promissory note. I promise to pay the bearer on demand. So when you bring this and you transact business, then the bank helps you to do the same exchange of trade by barter behind the scene. If you write a check for someone, does it mean your check is money? Your check is only as good as what you have in the account. If you don't have anything in the account, the check will bounce. So that is how we evolve from one place to the other until we got to this currency level. And now, nations after nations have realized that this is not even enough, because you go into a country and then you do an exchange and you lose a lot of money, and then we went to plastic. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're listening. I hope you are looking at the trend at which we're going. So now we're looking at money, what it is and where it hides. Now, I've shown you the evolution of money, because this is not money, it's currency. The plastic is not money, it's just a medium of transaction. So we have moved from skill and energy in the hunter-gatherer age to trade by barter in the Agrarian Age, to copper coins, gold bars, cowries in the Industrial Age, and then we now move to what you call currency, also in the Industrial Age, into the Technological Age, and now we are in the Technological and Information Age, and we are now operating with the card. Now, how did they get to this level, which is where we are evolving into now in this 21st century? Now, what happened was, you realize that if you travel out of your country and you go into another country, by the time you get into that country, you suddenly realize that you have to go back to trade by barter. You have to go and exchange your money for the currency of that country. So you give them your country's currency, they give you their country's currency, and then most of the time, there are a lot of disparities in the exchange rate. So sometimes you go into a particular region, and by the time you get there, you discover that you have changed your currency to their currency, and when you are leaving, you want to change back to your currency, you've lost a lot of money. And then now say, you know what? We can't continue to carry loads of money and carry cash. We need to go into a cashless economy. We need to move into e-commerce, because now the world has become a global village and the internet is a village square. And that's how we came to this level of e-commerce. So question, as we begin to round up today, what then is money? With all this evolution and all this explanation I've given, what then is money? Now, I give you the two definitions of money. Number one, money is any medium of exchange. Money is any medium of exchange. What do I mean by that? You don't need this paper. You don't need this card. Whatever you have that you can exchange for what you need, that is money. So any medium of exchange is money. So if you can exchange your talents for what you need, that talent becomes money. If you can exchange information for what you need, that information becomes money. Number two, what is money? Money is a reward for solving a problem. In life, there are many problems that need to be solved. But unfortunately, a lot of people are more concerned about discussing problem and analyzing problem instead of solving problem. People don't pay you for discussing and analyzing problem. People pay you for solving problem. So money is any medium of exchange. Money is a reward for solving a problem. So instead of thinking of getting the paper, why not think of problems you can solve that can turn things around in your locality or where you are? Now listen and listen well. This broadcast is all about teaching you wealth creation principles, revealing to you the pathway to wealth, connecting you with money-making opportunity, so that when you tune in from time to time, you will know how to make, manage, and multiply your money, and it will also be a blueprint for entrepreneurs. I've shared this all over the world, and I've been privileged to help countless people to create wealth, and yours cannot be an exception. So I want you to make sure you tune in from time to time so that we can teach you how to create wealth and how to turn things around in your personal finance. When I come back on the next episode, we're going to be looking at where money is hiding. Now that you understand what money is, let's go look at where it's hiding. Till we meet again on the next broadcast, I'm Olumide Emmanuel. Keep your dream alive.
Are you an employee or a small business owner and you are struggling to gain financial stability? Well, you're not alone. Research shows that less than 10% of employees and small business owners has gained financial stability in the past 2 years. This is as a result of poor financial foundation and lack of financial intelligence. But the good news is I have a solution for you today. I want to introduce to you our financial intelligence audio program. This audio program will teach you step by step the strategies and principles on how to manage your personal finance and build financial independence. The audio program covers in much details topics such as what money really is, where money hides, and new rules of money, 7 universal reasons for poverty, developing investment mentality, activating multiple streams of income, debt-free, becoming recession-proof, budgeting made easy. This audio program is for those tired of struggling with financial crisis, for those that want to be recession-proof, for those living from paycheck to paycheck, for those that wants to come out from the rat race, for those that want to learn how to make, manage, and multiply money, for those that want to improve their business or personal finance. The list can go on, but if you're not ready to take the necessary steps that will help you live the lifestyle you deserve, this audio program is not for you. The Financial Intelligence audio program is currently on a discounted price. If you're interested and want to get more info, check the description section of this broadcast to access the link. Finally, for those that stayed to the end of this broadcast, I'm giving you my ebook titled Introduction to Personal Finance for free. Also, check the description section of this broadcast to download it.